Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on Episode 8 of Konosuba Season 3. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. Oh, it's over. I guess fighting that Hydra didn't go so well. Oh man. What a way to start an episode after a cliffhanger. Wow. I mean, at this point, it's basically routine, right? Like, he just keeps showing up and dying. Like, this is what, the third time this season? Oh, man. There is no dignity in death. But I can't help but wonder, like, did everybody die? Like, Aqua seems pretty well off, all things considered, but, man, Kazuma really got the short end of the stick with all his clothes having been digested. Ooh. Wow, that's, nice, I guess, for Darkness to have tried to save Kazuma, but, oh dear. It never ends for Kazuma. So I'm wondering if things are just sort of like business as usual for the time being, because like all of this is effectively like some sort of a problem engineered by Elderp, who we've learned is like another sort of isekai victim, for want of a better term. You know, he's like Kazuma, but he's, you know, much more well off, and for some reason he has a special animosity. Like, we kind of do know, you know, Kazuma took that necklace and all that, but I don't know. Like, I don't think there's been a real good explanation for everything that's going on quite yet. Especially how Darkness is involved. I mean, I think it's pretty clear, like, Elderp has an affection for her, but that doesn't quite explain everything with how weird she's been acting, unless, you know, he's sort of like propositioned her or proposed to her or something like that, and, you know, that's the source of grief. So I'm wondering if that's going to factor into this now, because like Darkness clearly isn't entirely herself. Yeah, you know, we don't tend to get much in the way of one-on-one interaction between the two, especially with Darkness in this sort of a weird state. So, like, I almost expected her to barge in, but, I don't know. She's acting weird, and I don't think there's any real good explanation for it. And I guess there's also the issue that they didn't actually kill the Hydra. I guess I just sort of naturally assumed they killed it off screen, as would make sense. Megumin just sort of blasted it, but, So I guess that's part of the ongoing plot now. They do need to kill the Hydra for reasons unknown, aside from it just being a big scary monster. Oh dear. Wow. So it seems like the pooch has been thoroughly screwed, They didn't kill the Hydra, they've only managed to piss it off, and as a result, who knows what it might do? It might go on a rampage and destroy the town and all that. Huh. So that's not good, I get the feeling that Kazuma might have to rally the entire city to try and do something. Oh, Kazuma. Oh dear. Well, if it isn't the consequences of Kazuma's actions. He has his own bounty now, and his little escapade has resulted in forces being diverted. This really is, the worst possible outcome. Oh dear. Man, there really is no good solution. The whole town's rallying to find Kazuma, even if they don't know it. They're mad at everyone for poking the Hydra. Oh dear. I mean, really, how do they get out of this? Is Kazuma gonna have to, fake his death as a thief while also killing the Hydra? Ooh. Man, that's just twisting the knife. Hey, Kazuma, we'll expect you to help catching yourself. Honestly, I would expect him to skip town, but... Man. I guess there's also the matter of the chicken egg that Aqua thinks is a dragon. I feel like the other shoe's gotta drop with that. Something's going to happen. It's obviously not a dragon, but I feel like it's gonna be something unexpected. I think everybody is just sort of, ignoring the positive effects of this egg on Aqua, in that it keeps her distracted, Because normally it seems like her big habit is just sort of drinking and making a nuisance of herself, but, if she's focused on tending to that egg, that might be good, I guess. Ooh. So it's interesting that Aqua would, I guess, put her foot down and prevent this plan from coming to fruition. Because in theory it could work if they were to repeatedly bombard the Hydra. But, yeah, I don't know. Ooh. It's a little interesting right there that Megumin is motivated by revenge for the Hydra killing Kazuma. I mean, sure, he got better, but that's interesting, especially seeing as how death seems to have very little consequence. I guess it's also interesting that they're actually pondering strategy rather than coming up with something on the fly. Yeah, there's definitely something going on here. I mean, Megumin's making her motivation pretty transparent, but can't help but think. Oh dear. So I guess I can't exactly blame Kazuma for not going to want to go out in this crappy weather, but at the same time, the least you could do is try and kill the Hydra. Yeah, it's weird that Darkness is supplanting Kazuma in his role as, I guess, Megumin's ride back once she tires herself out. Yeah, that's, I mean, frankly, it's a perversion of the natural order, but I guess it means that, like, the interpersonal bonds between all these party members are, well, stronger than ever before, really. Interesting in a way, also kind of weird. I mean, at this point, I think everybody's had a turn, you know, helping Megumin blow things up and carrying her back. I mean, I guess it makes sense that Darkness would go for it, seeing as how they're actually blowing up a monster. You know, she probably wouldn't abide by just blowing up stuff willy-nilly. Alright. So it seems like Kazuma might finally be getting into the spirit of things by, you know, trying to be helpful by repairing armor. I think if nothing else, it's a nice gesture. Ooh. Yeah, this is something. Darkness is being sentimental. And it seems as though they're referring to the movie again, which, whoops, still haven't watched it. But at the same time, that's kind of a look of nostalgia on Darkness's face again. You know, she's saying, I'd like to go there again, as if that's, you know, a distant possibility and not like a day trip. Ooh. So I guess the question is, now that she's gone, is she going to slay the Hydra herself or what? Because I'm not convinced that's what she's doing, necessarily. I mean, all told, there's probably a good possibility, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, there's too many variables in play. At least Kazuma's willing to, you know, take the fight to the Hydra now. Ooh. Yeah, it is weird that Darkness is being so unreasonable. I guess if nothing else, it really informs us that there is some ulterior motive here. Or maybe not an ulterior motive, that sounds kind of sinister, but there's definitely something she's not sharing. Oh dear. Of course they have to color that. It wouldn't be complete, you know, this episode if they didn't color La Latina. But I guess it's nice that Kazuma managed to rally everyone, you know. Hopefully they can get around this whole silver-haired thief brigade business without getting Kazuma hanged. So, I mean, surely, even against a Hydra, like, this volume should do it, right? I mean, I don't think they even have to take a particularly intelligent strategy, you know, they have the numbers on their side, they can afford a bit of attrition. Now, I guess the question is, like, just how dangerous is the Hydra? Like, obviously it is pretty dangerous because, you know, it's that funny mythological monster that can only be killed through a very specific method. But at the same time, we haven't actually seen what it can do. And I do have to admit, I'm vaguely disappointed that we didn't see the actual fight. Like, it was funny for this episode just to start with Kazuma dead, but I would have liked to see some action, you know? Just because, when you get down to it, Hydras are just really cool. So I guess the question is, you know, like, what exactly is the plan here? It seems like, per usual, Darkness is the decoy, you know, drawing its attention, but you know what then? Do they really have the requisite firepower to put it down for good? I mean, it looked like they were building siege engines or, catapults or something like that. Okay. Alright, this makes sense. Using magic together to basically hurl giant pieces of artillery at it. Ooh. Alright, so that's an interesting strategy. You don't have to worry about all these various heads if you can sort of group them together. Although, ideally, if you're fighting a Hydra, you wouldn't be chopping off heads anyways. Because I feel like, if you're dealing with a creature where cutting off the head only creates more heads, you should really, focus on the body. I do like that they're essentially making the effort to just haul the thing out of the water and onto land. Because, I don't know if the Hydra's specifically an amphibious creature. I was given to understand that it could kind of do both. But, drawing it onto land doesn't necessarily make it any less dangerous. Wow. That's remarkably brave of Kazuma to do, to get hurled right onto the Hydra so he can drain it right up close and personal. I mean, sure, all the heads are occupied and all that, but that's well within biting range. And I guess, considering how titanic this thing is, falling off it would likely kill you too. Not to mention having it crush you. Of course, we don't know Kazuma's dead, again. Ooh. I was hoping this would be the case. Darkness and her just raw physical prowess holding up the Hydra. Now, of course, Kazuma can't leave her alone either. Now, I'm wondering about whether or not this is a good idea to just drain its energy while underneath it. Because I feel like once you hit a critical tipping point, that's a good way to get crushed. Alright, here we go. As always, the best way to invigorate Darkness is to insult her and berate her. Wow, that's a statement. When we die, we'll die together. I mean, ideally, no one would have to die, right? Ooh. This is kind of telling that, if she were to give up, then Kazuma would die, and I guess she's getting gratification from it, but, I was wondering if this might be indicative of, romantic feelings, but, wow. I'm not sure what to make of this, but I guess I'm kind of glad it's worked. Now, something tells me this guy's gonna get mashed by, the Hydra's flailing tail. Ooh. Now, something tells me that Yun doing that... Oh, I take that back. I figured 2 more heads would have sprouted, but I guess given that it's been so tremendously weakened, it can no longer regenerate, which, in my mind, that kind of defeats the purpose of a Hydra. Oh well, it's a little quibble. Now I guess it really is only fitting that Megumin would ultimately just blow the thing to perdition. And come to think of it, that's a particularly spectacular explosion. Although, seeing as how they killed it, I guess that leaves the question of what next. Because if this was Elderp's plot, give Darkness this fool's errand or marry him or something like that. Like, what next? 'Cause, I mean, if nothing else, some of the plot seems to be resolved. Darkness seems more like herself again, but... Ooh, interesting. So it seems like it wasn't even really killing the Hydra that's making Darkness feel better, but more like the townsfolk rallying behind her. Which makes me wonder... Man. Some things never do change with Aqua nagging everyone about not being grateful for being resurrected. Ooh. Okay, so Darkness isn't here. And I get the feeling that maybe she did leave after all, because she did sort of seem melancholy near the end of what she was saying. Oh dear. I thought things were going to get kind of back to normal, but I guess not. Alright, so Darkness is leaving. Like, obviously, this can't be allowed to stand, right? I mean, I'm certain she's not doing this of her own volition. Yeah, the way she's writing this letter, I don't think she really is doing this because she wants to. I think it's, if anything, out of obligation. I mean, to refer to herself as Lalatina, like, there's definitely something else going on here, and it's not good. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.